It's summer winter, man.
Summer?
It's summer.
Yeah, but I like it.
That's what you gonna have this summer.
But I don't care now. I wait anytime. Dr. Peel, how are you doing?
Racer, how are you?
I am happy. I cannot complain. How is your family and your loved ones and your new year starting
Everybody.
off?
Yeah, everybody's good.
Oh,
Everybody's doing fine.
well, good, good. You look amazing.
Thank you, sir. I
Miss
try.
Miss Stephanie, my assistant, she just loves you. You are a sweet human, and she is too. So
Thank you, Stephanie.
yes. So I wanted to touch bases with you. You know, I told you at one point that once I get this nightmare IRS stuff behind me, I was gonna go on and get back to business, but I was gonna wait until I understood what was going on because I wasn't trying to give them more stuff to take from me, you know?
Exactly.
So I want to bring you up to speed briefly. Oh, Miss Stephanie, she's there. Hey, Miss
Yes.
Stephanie, how are you
Yes.
doing? So I want to bring you up to speed on where we are with the IRS and then tell you what I like to do with you. I like to partner with you. Hold on. Can you hear me well? It's not too loud, is it?
No.
Okay, good. So I found out, and this is my girlfriend, and we should really listen to our women more, black men, because we don't a lot, and it is to our own detriment. I'm a Taurus, and she's had to fight with me for me to pay attention to her. He was the one. She's like, you take care of everybody else, but you don't take care of yourself. This is common. Hairdressers' hair is terrible, and caregivers' health is.
Yes.
So, for some strange reason, I would never stop to take the time to take care of my stuff. And it wasn't because I was derelict in my responsibility, but when you go through certain type of traumatic things, every time I have to go back into that place when I realized that I had a house at 15 years old and was at the height of my career, and these people took everything from me like that. And the fact it was sobering to know that they could do it
Yeah.
and you could hardly not stop it. And it didn't matter how smart you were, no matter how deep, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So anytime I tried to deal with it, I had a mixture of anger and anxiety and hurt that I had let that thing go since 2006. So anyway, so my girlfriend set up the whole portal with the IRS. And turns out I don't understand this. This has to be the Lord because I know Jackson State University didn't pay me at least $80,000, and I believe that they wrote it off on me. So I thought
Right.
that with the added interest, that it was at least 100 some thousand dollars. It's been since 2006. It was $4,500. So I don't know what, but I ain't asking no questions.
No, no, you just go. Here,
So when you
bye.
said that I should have got an audit, because it's exactly what you said, that people oftentimes don't even quantify what they actually owe, and they just pay. And I told you I didn't want to talk to him. I know that I owe, but turns out that it had to have been the Lord because I don't understand. So that is under control. So now I can get my name back, as it were, because I have foregone a lot of opportunities because I didn't want the IRS to come into my business situation and disrupt other, you know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
when you partner with somebody else and your name gets on it, then they come in, then it's just a bad. So I have been volunteering for the last since 2006, pretty much, which has been a nightmare. However, it has made me super, super sharp, and I'm ready to show you now what it has brought about. Because the good thing about not letting people like the Federal Reserve Bank pay you is that what you get in relationship capital, when people pay you, they cast you out. You are an employee. They owe you nothing else. You can't call and get a favor. But when you volunteer for the Federal Reserve Bank for 7 years for free, then I can pick up the phone and call them and they move mountains for me. So I have done this with an ecosystem of people and parties. And I want to share that with you because I would like to have a conversation about partnering with you to introduce you to a couple of these business people. I have at least three of them and maybe more who pay more than $500,000 a year in taxes.
Mm.
And they are in, industries like online game. It doesn't matter what industry in there. But I'm just telling you. So they're getting a lot of pain, and being able to reduce some of their exposure with the government. I think that we can work out something that's actually quite similar to Centene, the Medicare provider. Are you familiar with them?
No, I'm
So
not.
Centene is the largest Medicaid Medicare provider, a multi-billion-dollar exchange. And what they do, three chronic illnesses are bankrupt in the country. Hypertension, diabetes, and obesity, and they're all interrelated.
Yeah.
So what Centene does is they help mitigate a lot of that extra cost because it's unsustainable. And the savings that they give the government, they get a percentage of that savings, and it's
Okay.
billions of dollars. So I would like to do some kind of metric like that, wherein you and I can partner. You charge them whatever the monthly thing is, but I won't end on the percentage of the saving because that's just good for everybody. So it's doing well by doing good.
Right.
So so I'm gonna share my screen and share you a little bit of what I got going on, and it is not normal. So I'm creating since I was forced into a situation where I had to give up my house and give up a 20,000 square foot sports bar and give up a recording studio for really no real reason. And I told the government, I'm like, look, if you can go into my bank account and take my money saying that I haven't paid, then you can go to Jackson State, which is a federally subsidized entity, and make them pay me.
Right.
I have a contract. So why
Right.
can you do this to me as a citizen, but you won't do that to them? If I have a tax obligation, then you should be duty bound to help me get my money to pay you.
Right.
So once I saw that it looks like this is another trick from those people to disenfranchise us. So when you are visionary and dare I say assertive, then they want to break your will so that other people can see that you don't stand up to them. So they got me to design $16 million worth of television station as a 23-year-old or 23 to 30, and I still end up in foreclosure. And I'm like, what on God's green earth? How is this even possible? So what they did was push me into a world where I began to understand that God didn't create money. He didn't need money to create the sun or the water or none of that. So it's a trick. It's not real. It's a mirage. So I started bartering with people. And because of that, they gave me access to the back end of things that are unimaginable. And now I'm putting it together in my own ecosystem and it's power block dynamics. So I'm gonna share the screen real quick. I go through it pretty fast. So I have, let me, do you see the screen yet? Has it shared? No.
No.
So I have been an agent for James Meredith for about 15 years. He's a 91-year-old human rights icon that John F. Kennedy sent 30,000 troops to defend his constitutional rights. He has taught me what the civil rights movement was. The civil rights movement was not just a bunch of black people boycotting. They created the class action lawsuit. They innovated and disrupted this United States. And I'm taking those principles and cross-pollinating them. So I have 5 consortiums to make sure that they can never do this to me again. So I've got a contractors consortium to combat Mississippi giving $10 billion worth of no bid contracts to Amazon, to one white construction company, taking tax incentives from all of the citizens, including black people, and no bid. So when I went and sat and talked to them, they said, well, we can't find any qualified black contractors. I'm like, oh my God, that is not true. So I went and got a contract consortium. So when you're looking at this is an ecosystem of multimillionaire contractors who
Hold on
could
just
be.
a second. There's whoever's talking in the background is making you go out
Oh, okay,
sometimes.
okay.
Right.
So
So maybe if they go in a different room or yeah, put
oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
They can't hear.
It's
They
almost
can't
like
hear.
you know how you're on speakerphone and it goes
Oh, let
out.
me let me put on this earpiece real quick. One second.
Okay.
Okay. Go back to.
Now it's back now, but
Is it back
okay.
now?
Right,
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. All right. So these people would constitute the scale of potential clients. You know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
we are wholly, as African Americans, we are wholly ill prepared for what these people, the degree to which it is really astonishing. Now, so let me make sure that, all right, make sure that you don't hear an echo. Let me unshare the screen because it seemed like it went away. I apologize. Okay. So I'm connected in my state. So I know the governors and all of these things. I've been working with these people for years. Um, so I went and got 5 contractors and reached out to the executive director of Mississippi Development Authority. And he sent me down to the black lady who handled minority affairs. This is what the game that they play. It's a shell game. Let the blacks talk to the blacks. And so this is the guy who was appointed. So this is basically saying, sir, you have taken our money and given it to Amazon, one of the largest companies in the world. We want to participate because taxation without representation is why we celebrate the 4th of July. And so my stuff is professional and clean. So I put together 5 contractors, and you'll see that these are one sheets and they're all uniform. It doesn't matter how big they are, I need them to look the same. The point is power block dynamics. This is what I picked up from James Meredith, that they coalesce similarly situated people and put them together. Like with the class action lawsuit, they were killing people registering to vote on courthouse steps. You can kill 10 people, 30 people, but you can't kill 3,000 at one time. So I use these formulas uh, to pick up where they left off. And so I even backstopped them with a National Minority Contractors Association just in case they try to play with me. This thing is 31 years old. It's out of Chicago. All my contracts are signed and nailed down. So this is a whole nother ecosystem. This lady works for the government, the mayor's office in Little Rock, and her sister works as DEI for Alabama. So we are scaling this thing in 3 states at one time. So anyway, to make a long story short, so I have an answer. Like you'll find this guy, he's the lead contractor. He has the Department of Labor certified apprenticeship program, which means that he can have a junior college training, workforce development training for all of the trades in construction, electrical, all that. So he's licensed in 12 states. He has 6 banks that he has $2 million lines of credit at each one. Because we have to
Wow.
play those games because they'll shut you down. And so you have to diversify. He's licensed in 12 states, so he is the strongest one. So needless to say, and I won't show you all of them, but I have 5 consortiums,
And all of these are minority contractors.
all a minority. So Mississippi has the highest rate of preventable deaths because the state of Mississippi did not expand Medicaid. So the hospital was bought up by surrounding states who did expand Medicaid. And the result is Black people are dying in alarming rates. So what I did is went and got 4 medical associations and put them back together. The Magnolia State Professional Association, it can't be about us without us. Again, think of clients. These are these are the highest net worth, most educated Black professionals in the state that has the most Black people in the country. So what I'm really doing is disrupting this harm that's caused to my people, primarily because of the state and the government and the United States, because that Constitution didn't include us. We were property when it was written. So although we the people don't include us because they didn't consider us people, we fix these problems here and we expand them back through the nation. But as far as clients go, these are high net worth people who would also like to not pay all their money in taxes like Donald Trump and them don't want to. And so all of my stuff is thorough. Congressman Benny Thompson was the keynote speaker. These are banks in this ecosystem, Bank of America and large banks. So it creates an ecosystem of people who I could do something as simple as saying, set up a lunch and learn type thing and let you talk to them and say, if you got
Mhm.
any, in the end, if any of you all are interested in saving some of your tax money, then you can. So I've got a full suite of ecosystems that I would like to put you in the center of and just slowly, the law of averages says you educate 15 people, two of them may want to do it. But that's
Right.
all you need. Once they start saving that money, then they're gonna come to you. So I am even my goal is everything I'm doing is targeting and disrupting what Mississippi's got going on. And I don't have to tell you it's Mississippi's fault. So in conjunction with having four consortiums, contractors, medical, finance, which has the Federal Reserve Bank in it, and it's the central bank, and I'll show you that. Hair and beauty, health, hair and beauty, and I've got a legal one. So I'm gonna make sure what they did to me is impossible to do again because I have diversified the hell out of everything I'm doing. So once I get them to save on their taxes and I help them scale what they're doing, I want a venture capital fund because that's why we don't have a black Mark Zuckerberg or Elon Musk, even though we built pyramids.
Right.
So this is Redbird Capital. We have $10 billion assets under management. This is my non-disclosure that's signed by Redbird Capital. The guy that signed it built the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, which is no small feat. And here's my vision fund. And as far as I'm concerned, you have first right of refusal to whatever is in my ecosystem. I have studied you. My girlfriend, she found you. And it took about 6 months before I even look at it because I'm like, who is Sherry Peel? I do not want to what I don't have it. I'm a Taurus. She was like, you going to call this lady and talk to her. And I was like, yes, ma'am. And I'm glad that I listened finally because she was right. So I want a Mississippi Vision Fund. I want to be able to accelerate our people, and they don't do that anywhere in the nation. We can't get capital from Oprah. We can't get capital from Michael Jordan. We can't get capital from any of our people. So this is Ray Bird Capital. You see my stuff looks professional. The first thing I want to do with them is a documentary with Steve McNair. I represent certain people like James Merritt and Steve McNair, who was killed for his money. To make a long story short, I negotiated with Netflix, a $400 billion company, and they was trying to pay us less than $50,000. They are on cocaine. There is no
For
way
the
I would
for
ever do
the for the
that.
documentary?
For the well, it was a docu-series. They wanted a
Okay.
six-part docu-series, and you'll see him down there. And these are the Netflix executives. And they try to entice me because they think, as I tell them, black people do more than bounce basketballs and dance on stage. Some of us are intellectuals. I'm a shrewd negotiator. Y'all are worth $400 billion. Steve McNair was worth $100 million at his peak. I'm representing his son. You want me to do something with you all for anything less than $1 million is insane. Never. So they try to entice me. Oh, we got the number one spot with this Johnny Manziel thing just that same day. And I replied, I don't give a damn what you got. I am going to forego this opportunity because I'm not a slave or a sharecropper. You know what I'm saying? And I tell these people this direct. These are my partners that I work with. This is, we try the spirit by the spirit. I'm giving you this information not to necessarily prove anything to you because I don't think you expect that. However, there is a trust but verify method to this. And I need you to see the actual ecosystem because uh, in order to believe where I'm talking about going as a visionary, it is certainly helpful to see where I am right now. And this stuff is an aggregation of 14 to 16 hours a day, 6 days a week for the last 25 years. Because when they tried to take my name from me, after they done got all of my resources and using them, I said, this will never happen to me again. I had a house when I was 15, and at 30, they took my mama already died when I was 5, having to go to court to become a legal adult and build myself up to a point where I'm doing this, and you're gonna take it from me? That'll never happen again. So I'm gonna be so insulated and so many moving parts and pieces that they'll never find me. I will be hidden by all of this thing. So these are my meetings. This is the Federal Reserve Bank. You'll see me there. I'm not in the meeting. I am hosting the meeting. This is the Walton Foundation, and you'll see in these panes, these are conference rooms. These are not individuals. I did their entire thing all across the country. And that's just one page. It was 4 or 5 of those pages. This is New York Senate, my legal consortium. I got Kathy Hochul to do a deed theft legislation from Jewish people who've been stealing our properties through deed theft and equity fraud, which is, my God, terrible. We can't even begin to imagine. And this is the other things that I've done. So I'm a visionary. I have 5 full gifts. I've gone platinum and gold in music, Emmys in television, designed 5 TV stations, amended the Constitution, and that doesn't mean anything if I can't help my people. And
Right.
so the Vision Fund will effectuate itself in a incubator accelerator where I bring in parties like this guy right here who invented a hair dryer that dries hair in less than half the time. You know that
That's
that
a good one right there.
absolutely. He's an engineer. It's a nice, sleek look. He's had that patent for 20 years and he can't get a dollar in venture capital investment. But they will loan him $1 million for a house. I got advisors like this accountant here who's an accountant for a Fortune 500 company, one of the largest companies in the state. He's helping me frame out my conglomeration. Now I need a tax attorney because as I build this thing, I want to build it so it can't be broken. I'm gonna build it with trust and all these things so the government can never take my stuff from me again. It's insane that the government would do that to us. So having said all of that, these things um equate to accessibility to bring in clients that I can put before you and say, all right, Dr. Peel, here's who I'm working with now. This is the profile, and all my stuff will be buttoned up to a one sheet because it doesn't matter how big the company is. If it can't be consolidated to a one sheet, you don't know what you're doing and you don't know your business. If you can't describe it in 10 sentences, now obviously the stuff that I'm showing you, this is not the average. I'm doing the work of 8 people. So I apologize that it has to be a little complex, but they pissed me off when they took all my stuff. And I sat back and said, "Oh, I see what has happened to my heroes and elders. Michael Jackson owned 50% of Sony. They'll send Conrad Murray over there to kill him so that John Branca, who he fired for stealing money 20 years ago, is now over his estate. His mama ain't got his money. That ain't gonna happen. So here's some
Ooh,
third-party verifiers. I've seen this email. These are what people are saying about me. These are the people that I did this stuff for free. So I said, so you're gonna take my money? I'm not fooling with money. I'm gonna do the same thing that I used to do with money without money. So the most important thing is something that I want you to see that I am really proud of. A New York Times best-selling author wrote about me in her book that was just released. And you got to meet this lady because she's financial literacy. Uh, she's called the Money Coach.
hmm.
She does all the Dr. Phil's, the Oprahs, the CNN. They just had her on for Black Friday. And she said, "Thank you for your advocacy because I fight for my people. I'm not Jesus. I'm not Martin Luther King. I'm not meek. I'm not mild. What they have done to us is a crime." So this is the chapter that they quoted me and they outlaid my story of how they
Hmm.
turned me from a young visionary to a sharecropper, causing me to design $16 million worth of TV station and my house go into foreclosure at the same time I'm doing it. It should be illegal.
Yeah.
So these things have put me in the center of an ecosystem, and now I am about to monetize it. And it's sooner than I originally thought because I thought I owed $250,000 to the IRS. For 4,500, I can get back to business. The last thing I'll show you is that I have done a backstop. Good night, sir. Thank you. I have done a backstop that's out of this world. I was I I helped a bunch of Saudi Arabian students at one time when they were in college. Did a
Hmm.
day at the Capitol Forum. I'm a humanitarian. I care about all humans, but I care about black ones first. I don't even like black people. They are terrible to deal with. They don't listen. White folks' ice is colder than ours, even though they complain to me about stuff that white folks do to them, and then they don't want to pay us. It doesn't make sense. So this guy is now um working for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and he has access to their businesses. And so I'm talking to him about a sovereign wealth fund So I want a private equity venture capital fund, a social impact investment fund, and a sovereign wealth fund to do things over $200 million. And so I'm laying out to him what it is that I'm looking for, just so he's aware. And here's the thing that I want to share with you that I am working on. Okay, it won't show it to me. I am working on, let me just let you see that it does exist. These are how I'm going to structure my thing. I'm going to have a conglomerate that is my name because they have effectively taken my name. I'll explain that later. That won't
Hmm.
ever really be used, but for anything I do globally, it will fall under there. F Communications is the company that I had when I was 23 that they bankrupt. That's my for-profit, my nonprofit Mississippi Arts Coalition, and Dark Horse Financial is the thing that is going to catalyze this whole ecosystem. Here's a bill of mine that the governor signed. I do everything. And I have to do everything because these people hate us. It is really sad to live in a country, in a world where the world you live in hates you.
Yeah.
I don't think other races have to deal with that. They can just do business. We can't just do business um, because they hate us.
Yeah.
So I am working on the last thing I'm working on is a bank. I'm working to secure a bank because it is clear that Bank of America, that was First Bank of Boston, that owned the slave ship and Chase Bank and all these demons is, I don't know
Hmm.
another word to say, because demons are angels who are just have a really bad attitude, you know, but they are
Yeah.
still angels. So I'm not demonizing anybody, but the stuff that they have done um, is I can't do business with them because they hate us. They don't reinvest back in our community, and it is inappropriate to do business with them, talking about doing anything for the good of your people and putting your money in Chase Bank.
Right.
They're not going to give you any of it back. So I want to bank in the center of all of this and have transaction fees going back and forth 24 hours a day. And this is a part of my bank acquisition um, thing. I have Virgil Roberts, who is who was a former chairman of Broadway Federal Bank that merged with City First Financial Bank that made one of the largest black banks, and he is leading an effort to help me with that. I am not even purchasing the bank. A Caucasian gentleman who has been guiding me in the financial world, who has 5 publicly traded companies, just offered to buy me a bank because he's seen me grow. And when I was telling him what I was doing, he said, "You're gonna need a bank. Find your bank less than half of $500 million assets under management, and I'll buy it for you." That's how the Lord works. His seeds don't go begging bread. So even though they took everything from me, or so I thought, they didn't take anything from me. They forced me to innovate my way out of this. So I apologize to the extent I can because that's a lot of yapping. But what we are having to deal with is unusual circumstances as people.
Right.
So I would like to have a conversation with you about quote unquote partnering, as it were,
Mhm.
joint venture. We don't have to commingle companies. You maintain your autonomy. And I introduce you to a couple of people and just have an introductory conversation. And then you
Mhm.
tell them what it is that you need to engage. I've got the first one already. It is an online gaming company like gambling casino games. It's a
Mhm.
black guy, and he's the largest online gaming company in Texas, which is to say a lot. But he is still not making the kind of money that Caucasians in that space make because they're capping us everywhere. And so reducing some of his tax liability will help give him more of his capital to be able to scale. Because what I do is accelerate, leverage, and
Mhm.
disrupt. That's all I do. I'm a chief visionary officer, I'm a consultant, and I scale their company. But part of scaling is mitigating a lot of the loss and money that's just being lost to taxes, number one. And then second and third, not wise business practices. But taxes is even greater than that. So
Right.
I think I've talked for 30 minutes flat. But this is a lot. So when I send you the email, it will just be the same references that I shared with you. And at any point you can deal deep dive through them, but I use a formula, and it's E equals MC squared. I just know how to cross-pollinate it and effectuate it in actual business on the ground. Most people think it's just, a cute formula, but no, it's fusion and fission. And I have taken the last 20 years. The Lord has He took the pressure off of me. It was a great responsibility having houses and business and still working in television. And while I thought he was hurting me, he was actually hiding me and protecting me so I can work this out in my brain because he knew I was capable of this, but I would not have had the reason to create such a dynamic monster because they pissed me off and they made me say, they're not just doing this to me, they're doing this to all of us because they didn't
Yeah.
take slaves from Africa. They took engineers and architects. And so that is what I want to talk to you about. I'm not in a hurry.
Okay.
I have a sense of urgency. We're kind of on the Lord time. I would like to just, if I can, in the month of February, which is 30 whole days, if I could let you talk to two high net worth individuals, and we say that, but they're Black. So they're nowhere near on the scale of Caucasian people. But I want to get them there. I want to
Hey,
scale these small businesses because we can't hire ourselves. We can't feed ourselves. You know what I'm saying? It's
yes,
insane. And when
yes,
artificial intelligence is fully proliferated, oh my God.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we think we're poor now.
yeah,
That thing is a demon that is codified and institutionalized white supremacy.
yeah,
It is biased against us because the people who coded it hate us.
right,
So we are
right,
around here talking about Beyonce and Jay-Z, but we are in a crisis. And if we don't move now to employ ourselves and insulate ourselves, we're going to end up back in the bartering system. It's inevitable, number one. But you can't barter forever. You're going to have capital, and there
right.
is no other way around it. So I will yield the floor now. I've said what I wanted to say to you. I don't know where you are in your business, but I also want to scale your business for what you have gone through. I think that this is a symbiotic, reciprocal thing that
Mhm.
in helping the people that I need to help, it also grows your company exponentially because these people are the ones who need to know you. The people who don't have businesses, they're not paying anywhere near the kind of taxes that the Black businesses are paying. White businesses are not paying taxes. Our businesses are paying almost 50%
Yes,
taxes.
yes,
So they are the ones who need to know you. And even if you go on a circuit and you're talking and you're just talking to regular people, it is good that they know this information. But the people who really need your information are the
right.
business owners who are paying over $250,000 a year in taxes because they are killing them.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I
You remind
am,
me of what my dad says, and when I'm listening to you, I hear him say, "You cannot tear down the master's house with the master's tools. You have to create your own tools."
wow.
That's for my dad right there. And
You
so
cannot
that's
tear
what you're
down the
doing.
master's house.
House using the master's tools. You got to create your own tools. You are creating our own tools. I every year at the last 4 or 5 days of the year, I go through an exercise called questions to design your future. There are 8 questions, and the first 3 questions are, what do I want? Why do I want it? In other words, why is it important to me? And what am I willing to give up to get it? Now, there's some more questions, but those are the most powerful questions. And I've been doing this since, oh gosh, the 2004-ish when I got that information from a life coach. But as I get older and wiser, I understand that time is valuable and I don't have time to waste with ignorance and foolishness. So I have become laser focused on figuring out what I need to be doing. Now, in my business right now, I have scaled way back because
Mm,
there are so many takers out there that I don't mind giving free information, but it's like I'm giving this free information
yes.
and when I want to expound and show you how to do it, you don't want to pay. So I backed
Mm.
up off of YouTube. If you notice, I'm backing up off of that as far as doing these lives and having people ask questions and stuff. I'll be doing some videos and maybe keeping up with the law. But as far as my clients are concerned, I have premium clients. I have an hour consultation
Okay.
for people who just have, I just got a quick question.
Mhm.
You don't have a quick question. These people with quick questions will use up my whole day. So my hour consultation, that's
Mhm.
497. That lets me know that
Mhm.
you're serious, and it comes with two of my books.
Mhm.
Then I have a 3 hour consultation, which
Mhm.
is usually a consultation that's deeper for like a business person that would require me to do a little research. So we might be talking for an hour, but I might have
Okay.
to go and do a whole bunch of research for you. From there, my packages go up to 6 months because I produce results. I can't work with you for, a month and produce results, especially if you're in a situation. It's going to take some
Mhm.
time. So I have a 6 month package and I have a year package. These are premium packages. And then I have what's called the year international package. And then I have an international package. So let me go back to the 6 month package.
Mhm.
The things that I teach people in 6 months are the same things that I teach people in a year and all the rest of them. It's how to get the insidious representatives of Satan off your back. That's the IRS, of course. You know that.
The insidious what?
The insidious representatives of Satan.
Good God.
That's who they are. Think about
That's
it. They
pretty
take
rough.
money from us that we need to live on and grow
Mhm.
our wealth, and then they, blow up people. I didn't ask anybody to blow up anybody for their oil or what. I didn't ask them to do that with my money. So that's what they are. But anyway, teaching them the wealth creation strategies that I learned from wealthy people, which decided when I went through the whole thing with the IRS, they started coming to me. They felt comfortable telling me all of these secrets, and I'm still learning more. The 6 month package, I think that one's like 12,997 or something like that. The year one is like 25 or 30. I take people, I don't know if you knew this, but did you know I have property in Costa Rica?
No.
I
No.
am building a master planned shipping container community on the Afro-Caribbean coast of Costa Rica. They
What?
are, I'm gonna just give it to you in a nutshell.
Yes.
Uh, One of my clients back in 2017 called me and said, my brother married a Costa Rican girl. Her father's got a lot of property. He's cash poor and land rich. He wants to start selling his property. I went down there with my son, fell in love with the Afro-Caribbean coast of Costa Rica, immediately said I would help sell the property. Bought some property myself. Yeah, we just got the deed this year because he died right after we
Oh my
we
goodness.
yeah right when we finished paying for it, right before COVID, he died. And their processes, they're very slow. I don't know if you know about the Caribbean, but everything's slow. Anyway, I have three properties there. I have a home there that I bought so that I could have a place to stay while we do the development. So I didn't want to spend thousands on hotels while I'm there because I stay for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. All right.
Yes.
Then I have what we our company, I have three corporations there. So Middle of Paradise is the main company. Middle of Paradise Hills is owned by four families, and we are New Horizons. So that is some hilltop property. So with a just gorgeous drop dead ocean view. Then I got Middle of Paradise Beach. I'm still paying for that. It's in 5 phases. I've paid for phase one. And so I have been trying to I haven't been actively marketing it because they take so long with the permits. But
Oh,
I'm targeting African Americans with money because this is the Caribbean coast. These people were bought from Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad Tobago to come up and finish the railroad because when they brought the Chinese over, they died of malaria. But then they
mm,
were made to stay in that area. So they said, okay, you finish the railroad, you're going to do the fruit, and then that's where Marcus Garvey started the UNIA. That's where the Star Line, the Black Star Line was. It was supposed to take us back to Africa, and they
wow.
ended up. So it's a whole bunch of Black people there. They speak Spanish and then they speak English because they went to school to learn English after school, and then they speak patois. Some of them I can't even understand. But what's happening is I'm sure you know about what happened with the Gula Geechee people and Hilton Head. I was a part of that in that I was a young accountant working for a CPA firm in Virginia, and they were contracted by the Virginia Legal Aid Society, which contracted with the South Carolina Legal Aid Society, sent us down to South Carolina to try to help those Black people keep the houses that were paid for, but the property taxes went up to $30,000 because everybody wanted to put those high rises out there. Gentrification is happening on the Caribbean coast. See, the other side of the country is where everybody goes for vacation. Oh, don't go over there, it's too much crime. They have discovered the beauty of the Caribbean coast,
Mhm.
and folks are coming in from all over Europe trying to buy this land up. And these Black people have this land. Their children don't want it. They go to San Jose, which is the capital, or they'll go to the United States or whatever. And these people are getting older. And what I don't want to see is what I saw in a newspaper article there. Will Limon be the new Cancun? And my answer to that is not on my watch. So
Mm.
I'm trying to help the Black people that are there keep their properties, partner with them if we need to, but make sure that this doesn't come out to be another Hilton Head, be a whole, a whole Cancun, and all the Black people get pushed off somewhere in the corner. Prime land. See, they were left there because of, the mosquitoes and the jungle. And so
Hmm.
they built a community. They weren't able to leave this area until 1948 when Costa Rica was liberated from the Spanish. So they built this community all that time. And they're still over there and they're not respected on the other side because, it's the stepchild. It has the only port in Costa Rica. Everything comes in and goes
What?
out there. Black only port is Puerto Limon, but all those Black people, they get no advantage to that. All they do is get jobs at the port. we they're opening up that country to do things in that area, talking about we need to give them jobs. I'm like, no, they need a seat at the table. So I'm in there as this, whatever you want to call me, saying, no, you're not getting ready to do this to these Black people. Understand that Black people have gone through this gentrification and you taking their stuff, and even the Native American, with the Trail of Tears and all that, you pushing them off their land. This area is beautiful. And so anyway, so
Yes.
that's where I want to concentrate my time as opposed to dealing with the people on YouTube. And then with the premium clients, I have like couples, I have a couple that I'm coaching now. They're the premium couple. I took them to Costa Rica in October. Now they're, wanting to, the husband said, I went down there and I wanted to land to speak to me. And the land said, I can sustain you.
Mm.
So anyway, so yeah, and so that
No.
I also have a package that my highest package where they actually get land and then 2 years of coaching in the package. They get land and
Wow.
2 years of coaching. So, it's just different things. And I,
So
I
let me
think
tell
that,
you, I want to tell you based on what you've told me, kind of how my
okay,
gifts works. All I do is
okay.
accelerate. So when I'm listening to things, first of all, the formula kind of goes like this. Whatever realm the conversation is in,
Mm-hmm.
there are universal laws and principles that governs those things. Gravity
Right.
governs the laws of aerodynamics. A plane is flying in the sky, 1 degree tilt in the nose, too high or down, that thing is coming to the ground. So
Down.
it can defy gravity, but only under a certain specific subset of principles.
Right.
So this is what allows me to have a financial consortium and a medical consortium. And I'm not a contractor. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't have to be. I look to first, what is the universal law and principle that governs this medium? And then the disruption comes from there. So with your thing, what I would do is a sister city agreement with that Costa Rican city and a
Mm-hmm.
US city. You would do a full-on cultural exchange so that you can hide this thing in entertainment. You know what I'm saying? They don't pay us attention when we dancing and singing, but you got to remember during the what was it? Underground Railroad. The slave would be singing the coordinates and time that they were gonna leave, and they ain't paying them niggas no attention. Oh, they just, you know what I'm saying? So we do a cultural exchange to blow up a bunch of folks that's like I don't know what they do in that country, but they got Mardi Gras over here, and Jamaica got his thing. And you really do a cultural exchange where you have a parity of university to university, political system, city to city, and you send students back and forth, and you dance and you sing, but you got commerce going on in the background quietly because they already have Department of State protocols to do the government thing, but you never talk about or advertise publicly that what you are really doing. And so once you set that up, and this is something I have a client who just did this with Rio Negro, Colombia, and Jackson, Mississippi. He did it with baseball, but what he's really doing is bananas and flowers and coffee.
Gotcha.
So that thing gets set up, and that will probably take 3 years. It could be accelerated to two, but it depends on the government, and you will have to they're like economic hitmen. Somebody who gets on the ground, speak the language, a briefcase full of money. This is the way that gets done. And it is what it is to go on and get the everything laid bureaucratically so that you can interlock these things. And so something that is happening in Black America, I am noticing because I do government stuff and have for a very long time. We don't understand that the biggest client for these people who happen to be the wealthiest people in this world is the government. Elon
Yeah.
Musk, Mark, their
Yep.
Tesla is not a car company. Tesla is a data company that utilizes a car as the apparatus to get the data. All that data is sold to the government.
Yeah.
All of these Ring cameras, they have created a mesh network that the people don't even know about, that the DOJ and law enforcement use your cameras to surveil your community. You'll find that FedEx now is putting cameras on all of their trucks, and they're giving that data to the police department to survey. You know what I'm saying? So Bill Gates and these people act like they are so smart. Elon Musk's daddy was an apartheidist, which is a
Yeah.
vehement racist, and he owned an emerald mine. So all of a sudden, he does all of this activity, but he didn't get any money from his dad. Come on, stop.
Yeah, right.
Not Elon Musk, but Jeff Bezos. Have you ever known books to sell more than music and CDs? Jeff
No.
Bezos started the company selling books. Books have never sold more than ignorant stuff. So how does a man start a book company and generate sales that allow him to disrupt the entire world? His grandfather funded DARPA, which is the devil. They don't tell these things. The last
Okay.
thing that I'll say is cryptocurrency and Bitcoins. Who invented Bitcoin? Look into it. Some mysterious Asian guy who nobody has
Yes.
ever seen, and
Yes.
some white guy who's claiming it. Well, why would a person who would invent one of the most revolutionary forensic digital ledger that cannot be erased under any circumstances, why would you not take credit for that? Because the NSA and the CIA invented it. The same people who subsidize all of this growth in data centers and everything else. So to be clear, we are in a kill box, and we don't even understand the world that we live in and what the real world is about. The Department of
You
Education
said
don't.
kill bucks.
Yeah, this is a military, the art of war. When you're
Can I steal that?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you a horrible little quick story that illustrates this. They've got, and you need to write this down because this is terrible. They talk about Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street was one of, I don't know how many cities they burned. They did that to many cities. But this particular thing is a level of horror that is unfathomable. It's called the Devil's Punch Bowl. You've heard of that? It's in Natchez, Mississippi. They were mad because they had to free the slave, so they sent them down into a kill box onto somebody else's turf where they're totally surrounded, and stood on top of them and killed them all. And then tells the story of folklore that the peaches and stuff that come out of there are so sweet because of the blood. I mean, these are demons. Who kills a deer? A deer don't even eat meat. It's the most gentle creature you can find. Not only kill him, cut his head off and put him on the wall. So this is the level of depravity that we're dealing with. and it is satanic. It is not, they don't need bias training. They don't, you know what I'm saying? These are demons. And it's okay. I'm not mad. To quantify is not to judge.
Right.
I'm just stating what the facts is. I ain't judging nobody. These damn people are demons. So having said that, Black people are wholly incapable. First of all, we teach ourselves that we're Gentile, not the chosen people. Our DNA, not DNA, our operating system, that your religion and your thought process as a human is to a human what an operating system is to a computer.
Mm-hmm.
If you got Mac OS on your computer, it cannot do what Linux and other operating systems can do. But if you truly believe that people who burn up in the sun are the chosen people and not you, you are wholly incapable of dealing with this. So, having said that, getting the exchange set up so that you can hide what is really going on, like they do, Department of Educate, don't educate. The healthcare industry is the sick care, and it's the opposite of everything. Then you have an oasis for your people to come and get respite, not just for relaxation, but you bring Black politicians, Black practitioners, people who are in power, who have a fiduciary duty to their people, but they don't actually know what they're doing because they've used a system that was constructed by people who took Timbuktu and the university's historical Queen Elizabeth, all that jewelry, she stole that jewelry. All those diamonds, she stole them. They stole education and gave us a derivative of something that in Africa, they teach you how to pick cocoa beans, but not to process chocolate. To pick the coal, but not to process coal and refine it. To pick the diamonds, you know what I'm saying? So they need to be re-educated and they cannot do it here in the United States. I talked to some people at the NAACP talking about they have a conference at Caesar's Palace. This is like chickens going to the damn foxes. Does
Yeah.
it make any?
Yeah.
That makes no sense. So there is where the cash cow is. But in order to get that done, I think an infrastructural thing to set up an exchange where they're like, oh, those are just some Black folks and they're over there dancing and singing and da da da, and you moving products back and forth. So this is how my brain works. So I think that there is some synergy. And talking to these people and getting it at a price point, because what I have found, if people will give you $10, they will give you $10,000 and they will give you $10 million. The amount of money is not the issue. It is the trust that causes them to give you anything. So if you can find the price point that gets them to talk to you, to have that conversation, once they trust you, once they see the saving of some of that money, and then you say, hey, why don't you just come over here and take a vacation? You can almost do it like timeshare. You can, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
They them timeshares, when they give you that all inclusive to Disney and it's $300, you better know it's a presentation that you don't watch. And the law of averages says that if I give 300 people a presentation, I don't need but 75 of them to take advantage of it, and I made that money back. So I think that there is potentially synergy where we could do a whole multitude of things and merge ecosystems to find out what the opportunities are, and they can be scaled in a way that builds the kind of trust to cause them to follow into those directions. So I just want to put my cards on the table and
Okay.
say that I'm interested in that. And my next steps is simple. Out of a whole 30 days, which constitutes the month of February, I just
Mhm.
want to introduce you to two people. And that 140, that whatever, that 49, 495, that's a reasonable sum. They're talking about um disrupting 250 to $500,000 in taxes. And so I think
Mhm.
that that's a nominal fee, although you would just remain open for you and I to do our own custom thing. So if I say, hey, let's not charge this guy, let's just talk to him and have an introductory call, then
Mhm.
trust that this is somebody I have vetted. I know their back end. I just need to have the intro conversation and let nature take its course. But also, I
That's
ain't trying
right.
to take no money out of your mouth. And if somebody
Mhm.
can't pay $500 for an intro call, then hell, they ain't finna do nothing anyway. But just give me the ability to, you know, play with that a little bit. So I'd like you to take time and pray about it. I've prayed about this. My girlfriend, she does her due diligence, and she had already checked you out and had watched many of your videos. I also saw how similarly situated Caucasian males did not go to prison, who did the
Right.
same thing that you did,
Right.
who were allowed to go on a speaking tour in grand form, and I'm sure make millions of dollars. But so you are my kind of people. So
Right.
that's what I wanted to talk to you about. And so be dreaming of what that would look like. I
Okay.
provide a totally self-sustaining, self-driven ecosystem that pretty much to you is just business development. I bring you clients that you likely would have never gotten, and you consider and pick through them and see what you want. In exchange, you help me as I'm structuring my infrastructure to make sure I am also not fleeced by these people. Because the
Right.
guy who's been guiding me, he was like, you need to get you a tax attorney. I hear what you're saying. Don't push me over into the white pool. I am not dealing with them on certain things.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And my money is the thing.
Right.
These celebrities are not spending all that money on drugs because you can't live if Mike Tyson couldn't spend $50 million on drugs. The human body can't live through that. He would be dead.
Right.
That means that some of that $300 million, I dare to say more than three-quarters of it, went to a certain race that wears black hats and got curly things that's coming down their damn side of their head.
Right.
And I most definitely ain't ever letting them get their hands on my damn money.
Right. Who
So I
just
don't
got
want to tax.
minority status, right? The business status today.
So I don't want a tax attorney. If I want to deal with somebody that's going to deal with taxing, it's going to be Dr. Sherry Peel, and we can accelerate each other.
All right.
Okay. And
Okay.
so we'll talk again maybe in a week or two.
Okay.
And if you decide, you can just email and just say yes or no. If it's
Okay.
yes, then I'll line up the first one and we can have that intro conversation and then you can do your thing and I'll just make the introduction and sit back and let you drive.
All righty.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir.
All right. You have a good
Great
evening.
evening. All
You too.
righty.